Hello everyone and welcome to the stream. I'm happy to pass my eval yesterday, so we've got another funded account to play with. So yeah, we're gonna take this one slow, like we did the eval. 38 days. I always try to risk too much on evals, so I decided to take the other one slow. And I mean, if you check back on my channel, I've got streams from like when I was halfway through it, so you can kind of see the risk that I was putting on and stuff. But yeah, man, finally passed it. Feels great. So today we had a massive sell-off yesterday. Seriously huge. We had 3 drive pattern here, and I managed to catch a short after the stream ended yesterday, and we caught a decent chunk of this move all the way down to here, which is the trade that passed the eval. I only took 2 micros on this trade, but because it was such a big move, we caught, we made a lot of profit. So yeah, sweet. I mean, it is what it is now, and now I'm looking for potential long to EQ of this range. We also have a big imbalance here, H1, 2, pretty much lines up perfectly with the M15. H4 is a little bit bigger, this buy side here. So yeah, I think this buy side would be a decent target for a first trade. 830 opening prices right here, and we sort of just chopped around. So yeah, I'm expecting some sort of manipulation down potentially here, take out this sell side, maybe come down here, but I doubt it. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting. Maybe we get a nice A plus to this sell side here, which is my target for today. I am bullish for today. Normally I go off what order flow looks like, and this is obviously bearish, but because it's such a huge move, I am expecting a retracement. But what I can do for the short term is draw fib just here, because obviously EQ's right here. So yeah, this is all balanced at the minute. So if we come here and rebalance this, then Bob's your uncle, we can safely long. We have an M15 inversion here as well, so yeah, obviously we've learned our lesson from 15-minute inversions pre-market, so I will not be taking it, but we might get a nice confirmation set up here on it anyway. So on my funded futures there, sim funded account, there's no consistency rule, which I find strange because every firm has a consistency rule. But even on their eval, they had a 50% consistency rule, so you could technically pass it in 2 days. Obviously, it took me 38, which is still good going. I mean, risk management and consistency. But and also, that's 38 days without tilt, and that for me, very monumental achievement. I used to tilt a lot. Seems like I've managed to tame the monster, if you will. That, and also the fact that I've got my risk management settings on trade of 8. Like loads. Load. A daily loss about I'll set it to 750, which is what I had on before. And we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. So you guys will hear like a order filled if I take a trade. Yeah. I'll also try and keep up on this chart here, but I am trading MNQ on my other monitor. So yeah, I usually just analyze NQ because it's a little bit cleaner. Sometimes MNQ has big wicks and doesn't close properly and stuff, but NQ, is the one to be watching. Sometimes you get an SMT between MNQ and NQ as well, which makes no sense. When that happens, price usually likes to run that low again. I guess just to be like, hang on a minute, this is a real low. Those weren't real, so I guess we'll see. But yeah, I mean, we had a beautiful 3 drives pattern yesterday. It was absolutely stunning. Right here, and right here. buy side target never got hit, which means the price failed to at that target, and then we can successfully target lower, which is this. And yesterday I was frustrated during AM because we had a lot of low resistance forming and price was really slow, like this. But now I realize that this was price is struggling to go higher, forming liquidity so it could potentially gain a move higher, and this was a protected low, so that's why this never got swept. So yeah, price was building liquidity here to sweep it, to try and go higher, failed again, formed some more low resistance liquidity. This time a little bit more balanced with some imbalances and stuff. Again, failed. This is a failure swing right here with an M1 inversion, and yeah, it's a wrap, you know. Really, really nice trade. Probably the best one of the month, to be honest. Super clean. I took one partial off here, and then my second micro came off there. But I mean, the huge was massive, obviously down all the way down here. But this was 250 point move. You know, I know it ran like 1,000 points, but holy moly! I'm gonna make a video on the 3 drives pattern. 1,200 point. Jeez, must be a bit more because we came down here too. Crazy. Anyway, yeah. Let's keep an eye here. We've got 8 minutes until market open, so we will be watching intently this area. And we do have some sell side just in discount there as well. Obviously, this whole area is an M15 FEG. It has been tapped right here, so potentially we could take out that low inside of the M15 to go lower. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I don't really want to see shorts. Like, we're reacting off a monthly and a weekly FEG here. This was my target from a few days ago. Probably when we were like over here. I think, yeah, this was the move that I was hoping would make the move down. But obviously, price needed to try and run this target first, failed, and then it was free to go and do so. We swept previous month's low. We tapped into the weekly, the monthly. So hopefully we get some sort of retracement. That would be nice. Obviously, it's quite a low time frame to expect a proper reversal off of this. I think we should really wait for like the 4-hour structure, maybe another sweep of the low or something before you can try and look for a long-term, you know, long-term reversal long. Long-term reversal long. Sounds strange. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I'm trying to find an example of like a similar move. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much, to be honest. This is quite a, you know, there's like relative equal lows here. I don't really think. Oh wait, that was a decent sweep, I guess. This is again a 3 drives pattern, price failing to run this low here, which also it happens to be. This is what happens now. You start second guessing. This is too low for today. I can't imagine price makes another 1,000 point move. So we can just be careful. We can watch this, see where it goes. Yeah, and I got to experience a pretty rough 3 drives pattern in real time, which I haven't really been able to do before, especially without like especially with like recognizing it properly and stuff. Maybe not at the time because we hadn't formed the 3rd high yet, or even the 2nd high to start with. But yeah, now once it happened, I realized it, and that was it, dude. So yeah, man. I mean, let's see. I have a valid A plus here. It is valid, but it's not great considering that we on the EQ. Obviously, it's pre-market, so no trade. But I mean, just eyeball it. Maybe a taper it if we do go higher. But yeah, we'll see. We swept this low and tapped into this gap. There's not really much else high time frame context. And there is an M5, I guess. We'll see. It depends, because if we then invert this 5 minute, it's a different story, you know. we can do here is we can actually just mark it out as 5 minutes. But yeah, I am hoping for this low first. Yeah, I posted a video about liquidity not too long ago, a couple of days ago. So, and it's done alright. You know, it's got I was supposed to video yesterday, but it seems to have flopped. Just about me passing Evo. I don't really know why. It's also low views considering it's got like one of the highest average percentage viewed of all of my videos. I don't really know. But anyway, yeah, so the liquidity video has got 879 views and 5 likes. That's got 96% retention. So really strong. It's quite good. It's quite informative. Obviously, I've not gone into a whole bunch of detail because it's only a 30-second video, but it gives you a good general idea on how to use liquidity effectively. I also sneak peek my model in there as well, in case you're interested in seeing an actual diagram of it. But yeah, I mean, that gave me 5 subs, so I'll definitely take it. It's definitely a sign to make more of those. And the views are still climbing, so usually they drop off about now. It's been about just over 48 hours, maybe 56 about, so they usually finish by now, but it's still climbing, so I'll definitely take that. 20 likes too, which is pretty good for a YouTube short. Anyway, my YouTube shorts, I know some go parabolic, but yeah, for me that's pretty good. I'll definitely take it. I only got 1 dislike too. You know, I've had videos before that have done like 10 likes to 5 dislikes. I don't know why people dislike them so much, but anyway, eyes on the chart say you've got 3 minutes left, so oh, excuse me. Hello viewer, hello the king, how are you doing? Good to see someone in here. I'll play behind chat. Are you still here or have you left? Can't tell. Ah, you're still here. Good to see. I mean, if you're curious, this is what I'm looking for. Potential rundown here into EQ of this 15-minute range. Come market open, potentially get some manipulation. What time zone? English, London. So this is New York session. So yeah, this is New York session, but I'm in London. So yeah, anyway, I'm looking for a reversal off this area here. There's a big M15 gap. I trade IFVGs, so essentially we can get like an A plus IFVG, sweep liquidity, tap into a high time from gap, and then we can get a long to my buy side objective, which is right here. There's a big M4 gap just above it. So which pair? This is NQ. This is futures. So yeah, I trade on prop firms and specifically my funded futures. I mean, if you're interested in futures, I definitely prefer them to Forex. I tried Forex for about a year and I had little success with it, but I've had a lot of success trading NQ. It's a lot more easy to follow, a lot more algorithmic. You know, the moves are a lot more justified, and yeah, I mean, NQ is definitely better than Forex. I mean, you could even trade ES, but yeah, I definitely prefer futures. Yeah, man, if you have any more questions or anything, feel free to drop them in the chat. Happy to answer anything that you want to hear about. Or if you're here for the vibes. So for example, I'll show you an example. This is an inversion FVG here. I'm not taking this long, by the way. Although it is decent. Yeah, I'm not taking this because it's right market open. We've just shot up. Anyway, so basically we close above a bearish FVG here. That's an inversion. Now my criteria is that we sweep liquidity, which would be right here, I guess, or right here, depending on which one was the most recent, and tap into a higher time frame FVG. So the M15 FVG here, for example, which we didn't even tap. You know, we like missed it by a tick. So for me, this isn't a valid long. If it did close, but yeah, there is an M5 too. So the M5 would be valid because we are rejecting off an M5 gap here. So this would be a valid long if the M5 closed, but obviously you've got to wait for that closure, which is currently in 3 minutes and 50 seconds. So yeah, that's what we've got to wait for here. See if we get that M5 closure. If not, then we could probably expect this high to be maybe taken out or something to go lower. I was bullish today. I mean, I still am, but yeah, especially after the large sell-off yesterday on NQ. This is huge, like a 1,000-point move, 1,400-point move to the downside. So definitely expecting at least a 50% retracement. But again, this is a monthly FVG here that we're rejecting off of. So for me to expect like a reversal on the 5-minute time frame, for example, it's a little bit, obviously the time frames are so different, monthly to 5-minute. You kind of want to watch for like the 4-hour, for example. This is the 4-hour. You kind of want to see like some 4-hour structure for monthly. You know, it's such a big time frame, especially if there's a weekly gap here too. But yeah, 4-hour definitely pairs better with the monthly and the weekly than the 5-minute does anyway. But we can look for a scalp, you know, in this range. It doesn't have to come all the way back to EQ, which is why I'm only targeting this buy side. But if it does, you know, it is what it is, and we'll wait for the setup. I'd like to have some music going here, but I can't really because of YouTube. I mean, it doesn't allow music. If I was on TikTok, I'd be able to, but I'll sit in silence, unfortunately. Just me, my brain, and the chart, usually. Don't normally have a viewer in here with me. I've got some company today. It looks like we're rejecting off this 5-minute currently. We've got 1 minute 48 seconds here until we get a closure. If we close below this 5-minute, which it looks like it's going to, we could potentially see some sort of move down to this area, which we were targeting anyway. So again, I'll tell you, this is a good example as to why that IFEG that I showed you earlier wasn't valid. Because of the M5 above, you always want to wait for the highest time frame inversion. If we didn't, we could have potentially taken profit here, but my target was always going to be higher, you know. I'm an RR trader rather than trying to catch quick wins. I find RR to be more reliable when you consistently target a higher risk to reward. So that's how I trade anyway. And you would have got caught in this chop too. I mean, look at this, you know, back forth, back forth. But it is what it is. And then obviously you've got a little 30-second inversion here, which again, like, I really want to see this low taken and EQ tapped. This blue line is EQ of the range. And price always likes to rebalance EQ. And if it doesn't, then it will usually come back. So I kind of want to see EQ there, or at least a good 5-minute closure. So, I mean, if we do get a 5-minute closure here, we've got 30 seconds. I could potentially take this a lower risk. Which I'll mark out. By the way, this is also this is the 5-minute gap. You have to always include the volume imbalance rather than just the FEG. The volume imbalance has to be included. But yeah, if we get a closure above here, I'll take a low risk. But it doesn't look like we will. We've got 5 seconds left. No closure there. So I'm not taking anything there. Still in this choppy range. We're going to see if this high gets swept or this high gets swept first. I'm not going to try and, you know, take a trade when we're chopping like this. I'll just end up getting stopped out or something. Or got to stop the break even potentially. So by the way, man, I can see it's still in there. So I trade every day. I'm live every day. So if you want to drop a sub, potentially catch me on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. The only days that I don't trade, the days before FOMC and like US holidays, I don't really trade those because obviously volatility and stuff. But yeah, you might be able to catch me trading another day, and price action might be better than this. I know I just advocated for NQ over Forex, but yeah, and then price is doing this. But you have to understand that we are reacting off a monthly FEG, and yeah, you can't really expect 5 minute, 1 minute, whatever price action to be too good, especially after such a big sell off. So yeah, I'm still waiting here. We might have to wait until the 10 a.m. macro here, which is 10 to 10 to 10 past 10. So that's usually a little macro in time where price likes to run some sort of liquidity. If we just chop for the duration of market open here, which is about half an hour. Oh, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. But yeah, well, we might have to wait until 10 a.m. here. Even if this 5 minute does close above, I still don't even really know if I'd take it, just because of how we've been chopping inside the range. I think what I'd do here is I'd wait for either this high or this high to get swept. That way we kind of know a potential direction to target, because obviously at the minute we're kind of undecisive, especially if you're looking at the 1 minute. Where are we going, you know? Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. This is not ideal trading conditions for the lower time frame anyway. I'll show you the 15 minute since we're waiting for a range breakout. This is the 15 minute. This is what I've got marked up. So obviously, here's the monthly gap that we tapped into, and the weekly just below it as well. And then we have a 15-minute inversion here, which doesn't really count as a long. I'll tell you why, because we have one right here as well. You need every inversion in the leg to invert for it to count as a bullish setup or a valid setup. But we also do have a 50-minute inversion here too, just here. And the ones that hold price down repeatedly are usually good. So that's why I'm expecting longs here. So yeah, we'll still wait for this 5 minute. We'll see what it does. The 15 minute is giving green flags. The 1 minute and below, no, that it's not. We could always look at like a mid time frame, 3 minute. See, again, another example as to why you always have to wait for the highest time frame gap to close, because the 3 minute inversed here, but then if you went to the 5 minute, you'd see that we rejected. If this 5 minute was a clean closure without this big wick here, and this low swept this sell side and potentially tapped DQ, this would have been a perfect long. This probably would have banked if this was, you know, pristine, which it's not, so I didn't take it obviously. But yeah, this is what I'm still waiting for. I'm still waiting for this low here. Let me check ES quickly, see if we have an SMT. We do have a mini SMT here, where ES did not sweep this high. So ES did not sweep this high, NQ did, and that's called a smart money technique. It's where one of the pairs sweeps the high and the other one doesn't. It's basically a way to trap traders long or short for more buy stops or sell stops for the market to use as fuel. In this case, ES didn't sweep the high, so NQ took people out here, NQ took shorts out here for us to move lower. It needed that liquidity, and now we could potentially look for a long off this area. I'm hoping that this is, you know, a nice short setup. Nothing on the lower time frame here to indicate that. To indicate that it's going to be clean. Obviously, we do have the chop, so, and that's why you always have to wait for something nice and clean, crystal clear. Yeah, man. That's it. I mean, not too much else on that. If you want, I can show you my trade from yesterday since we are waiting. I can set an alert here. We'll add an alert here. Oh, actually, wait, it looks like it might be running it now. I have to take a rain check on that, and I'll set an alert here. Alright, so my trade from yesterday was pretty beautiful, I will say. So let me go all the way over to AM session yesterday. So if you're looking for a little bit of source, this is some source right here. So we have a 3 drives pattern here towards a buy side target. Now, when we have a 3 drives pattern, it usually means the price has tried multiple times to run a buy side objective, failed, and then we've got, you know, an A plus short setup right here to go lower. Only cost 250 points at this move, but you know, I'll definitely take that. That was enough to pass my account. So you can kind of tell that one's going to form when we form a low resistance liquidity run like this. A lot of stacked lows with not a lot of clean price action. It usually means that price hasn't got enough liquidity to go higher and it needs more. So it tries again, it fails, as you can see here, and then this is it. You know, it's exhausted, it can't go anymore. Inverse is this M1 after sweeping the high, tapping into the FVG, and clean delivery lower, super clean. I caught that trade, like I say, only caught 250 points of it, but you know, I'll definitely take that. Take it over anything. So it was enough to pass the eval, so we'll definitely take that. Okay, so right now, price is kind of choppy. No tap here. This is what I want to see. I want to see this tapped. Let me see if I can get like a drawing tool or something. A circle, right? This is what I want to see. And then maybe a path tool. Right. This is what I was hoping for. Price come down here. Maybe give something like this to go higher. But instead we've like missed this low. Which I'm not a big fan of, which is why I'm not really looking for a long here off this inversion. Like I say, there is an inversion right here, but I'm not looking for a long off of this, just because we haven't swept that low yet. You have to be quite specific, especially in conditions like this. You have to have a filter, you know. And the best way for me to be able to filter trades is to have my, you know, called my A plus setup, my criteria, my set rules, and then to pair it with me reading price action as it is. So my mechanical setup would say, let me see, this right here without the chop, so remove the chop, is A plus. We've swept the low, and there is an M5 FVG here that we could be rejecting off of. It says it's A plus, but it's not, obviously, because we have the SMT, we have the chop, and we also have EQ of this range, which is yet to be tapped, which then ruins the mechanical context, and you also have subjective context on top of it, which means that you don't take the trade. That's just how it is, and that's the only way that you're going to be profitable. You know, if you're trying to trade a mechanical system, but you're not taking into account conditions like this, you know, constant chop, the fact that we're sandwiched between two PDRAs right here, we've got a 15-minute here and a 5-minute. We're currently reacting off the 5-minute repeatedly, and we have EQ with a range just below, a new day opening gap here. You want to see one of these levels tapped before you try and take a position. You know, trying to take a position in chop, it's not going to do you very well. You're either going to get swept and come back into the range, or it's just going to, you know, stop you at break even if that's what you do. If you sort of take break even at a high, which is what I do. Also, to protect against like trades like this. Excuse me. Yeah, to protect against trades like this, I did put a break even rule. So obviously, if we tap the high, then I'd go break even. In this case, obviously, I didn't even take the trade because it's not a good trade, but it does protect. It protects me more than it stops me out of good trades. So, hello viewers, drop a chat if you want. If you want to have any questions or anything, I'm happy to answer anything that you might have on your mind. Whether you're trading or, you know, anything about the markets, happy to answer. Drop a chat and I'm happy to speak to you. Like I said, it's just me in here, so don't normally get many viewers, so good to see some faces in here. Also, if you're curious, I've been trading for about 3 years, so I know what I'm doing. You know, there's a lot of guys out there that have thousands of followers and stuff that have got no idea what they're doing, but I'm telling you, those guys started trading. Those guys started their social medias when they had no idea what they were doing. So, and I've started my social media when I have every idea on what I'm doing. So, And we don't really need this alert anymore since I've already gone back and shown the trade. Alright, so looks like we might get this here. This is some accumulation, and then we have manipulation for a potential reversal. So that is what I'd like to see here. We have just swept this sell side inside of the M15 gap. If we tap EQ now, it's a bonus, which is exactly what we just did. So what we can look for now is a long. And if we got this inversion, this would be A+, which is, I would take this if we got this inversion. This is an M1 FEG, and if we closed above it with momentum, it would be perfect. Looks like we're going to continue to go lower, but I'm going to mark it out anyway. My criteria for this trade is we've just swept sell side inside of a 15-minute FEG, and we do have a buy side objective, which is right here, and there's a big 4-hour FEG above. So that's my thought process here behind this trade. Looks like we're going to tap into the new day opening gap here, and a little bit deeper into this 15-minute. You can see consequent encroachment is this red dotted line, is the midway of the FEG on the higher time frame. This sometimes acts as a little bit of an anchor point for price. Now, this is the M1 FEG. That was the 30-second. My apologies. We have a 2-minute here actually as well. So obviously, if we get the 2-minute, the 1-minute looks like it might close actually. So we could definitely take this 1-minute if we get it. I'm not taking a trade yet. I'm just placing down the the thingy. What's it called? I don't know. The long position tool. If we do potentially get it. If not, then obviously I'll delete it. But yeah, I mean, this would be nice if we got it. Is there an SMT? Just checking the lows between ES and NQ. There is no SMT, so we do not have that on our side. So maybe we do continue lower. Let's see, looks like we're going to get that 2-minute. Oh, it's only a small 2-minute. It's quite a nice rejection candle though. You can see this big wick. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable here waiting for this 30-second closure. This is quite a nice momentum candle. I don't like it when we do run like this fast. Yeah. I think I'm going to take a couple there. We do have a big volume imbalance actually that we didn't close above. I'm going to wait for that volume imbalance on MNQ. There's a big volume imbalance right here. So I'm just going to wait for that. See if we close above that on MNQ, and then I'm going to enter. Alright, so I'm in the trade. Not the best entry. Now, I am being cautious. I did take this lower risk just because we have such a high entry here. But we do have a nice target. Now, this is going to be my break even right here. Break even. How can I add text onto this? Now, I've only gone in with 2 micros on this just because of the high move. My stop is about here on MNQ, so you always got to have a hard stop lower than your, psychological stop. But this is obviously going to be a little support zone here. We have a 30-second FEG. If we inverse this, I'll cut the trade because it's just going to indicate that we might go lower. But we will see what we get right here. Obviously, you'll hear if I do cut the trade, so we'll just wait here. We'll see. We'll see. Did we get a 2-minute closure? We did. We did get a 2-minute closure here. We are still rejecting off this 5-minute, which is holding price up, which I don't like too much. I do kind of want to see some speed here. I don't really want to see price stall again. Here's the M5. I'd like to see a closure above this M5. If we reject again, I might just cut it just because we're still going to keep chopping. And obviously that would be a minimal loss. We left equal highs, which indicates to me that we're going to run those again. But I don't know what price is going to do before that, so we'll just wait here. Like I said, closure below this low here, or below this FVG, I'll cut the trade, and obviously we have a hard stop a little bit below. Also, if we stall as well, I'll also cut the trade. So we'll just wait and see. We'll wait and see. I do like momentum, and we're not getting a lot of momentum in the minute. We're still kind of chopping, which I'm not a fan of, to be honest. I like a fast reaction. But this was a clean M1. This was a very clean M1. Yeah, I want to see this high closed above here. I don't really want to see it mess me about here. Otherwise, I will just cut the trade. Stick to the rules and you'll be alright. You know, this that helps me more than it doesn't. So, you know, I have a decent win rate, and I always catch a nice RR. So, okay, I might be a little bit aggressive with my break even if we do sweep this high, just because of the current chop. You know, I'm not a massive fan of chop. I've just said that. So, yeah, I don't like the rejection that we're getting as well, which is kind of edging me to also cut the trade. I do not like being edged, so. But we did inverse the 2, and it's a pretty clean setup here. Apart from these wicks are not clean. What does the M3 look like? Not too much good on the M3. I don't like being caught in chop, so I'm going to give it another couple of minutes here. Let's see what we do. If we reject again, if we come back down here into this range, I think I'm going to cut the trade. Okay, so now we have a valid grounds to go break even. If we do not just take off here, which we are not. Kind of needed this high to close above. Okay, that's some nice momentum. We'll keep that going. Potentially close above this M5 here. I think I might go break even in a second here. I do not want to get caught in chop.
Not filled.
All right. I won't break even there. Listen, it might be my detriment, but break even helps me a lot more than not going break even. And the fact that this was chopping anyway, like, is this really a trade I want to be in? Even if it wins, I could be sat in this for 10 more minutes just doing this, And at the end of the day, my mental health is more important than trying to catch a trade which shows itself 1,000 times. So that was a trade we took. This is now a tape read. I'm not in this trade anymore. I got stopped at break even. I did it on purpose because we were chopping a lot, and we were still in this range, rejecting off this 5 minute. But if we do get the 5 minute closure here in a couple of minutes time, we could potentially look for a re-entry. I know it'll be a little bit higher, but it's, when you get more confirmation, that's when, that's when you can get another re-entry. So yeah, the 1 minute, it was a good trade. I went break even because we were chopping. I went break even as soon as we took this high here on the 32nd, this one right here, and then we came and stopped me at break even right here on this candle. So again, not a big deal. If it runs now, I'm not going to be upset about it. I don't really feel FOMO anymore. I've conquered that demon. And yeah, it is what it is. If it runs to TP, I'm happy. We're right. The market, the model was good. So we just wait here. Okay, so we swept this high. This high here. I don't know if you can see it on the. Let me just check the stream, see if you can see it. Yeah, this high right here. We've just swept it. So another reason why I was a little bit cautious is because there was no SMT, and I do like an SMT, especially when we're taking trades like this. Especially after a little bit of chop, I do like an SMT, especially in the direction. But this one right here, so. The 5 minute did close by the looks of it, but I'm not taking this because we already swept the high. This already invalidates the model if we've swept a point of interest while the candle closes. Not a good trade. We've already swept liquidity. Price could reject here. So Yeah, that's why I'm not going to be taking this M5 long here. The M1 was enough for me. You know, I got stopped at break even. It was choppy anyway. I'm happy. You know, I only would have taken partial set. You know, my full target was all the way up there, so I would have only taken a little bit of profit before potentially getting stopped at break even again. By the looks of it, anyway. Yeah, man. Like, I know this here says break even, but when I'm in a position, I like to move my break even point down to the most recent high. So in this case, it was right here. We came here, swept this high after the chop, which automatically put me off the trade. And then this one here stopped me break even. So, and this right here, this is an A+ short. We swept the high inside of a gap. I'm just not going to take it because, yeah, there's a lot of chop, and I don't like after this. You know, I just meh. I'm happy going break even on the day, and we can use this as another potential tape read here. So I'll mark it out. We have an inversion FVG here. We did sweep a high, and there is a gap, I think. Oh wait, no, there is no gap actually, so it's not even A+. Okay, so not even a valid trade anyway. I don't take anything lower than an A+. I'd class an A trade as a liquidity sweep and then an inversion, but my A+ is it has to tap a higher time frame FVG, and it's just not done that. So this did, by the way, it tapped into a 15-minute FVG, and it also swept this sell side here, and tapped EQ of this entire range. So a very confluent stacked trade. This M1 FVG long here. Sorry, IFVG long here. The 2-minute also closed. So right here, you can see a little 2-minute FVG. Let me delete this just because it's making the chart a little bit cluttered. Let me just check the chart, see if anyone's in here. So viewers, I apologise. I was not watching the chat. Hello, if you're still here. My apologies. Can you write the pair? So I trade NQ. I also watch ES for SMT. So I don't know if you're still here, the king, but there you are. There's the assets that I trade. If you're not here, whoever else is there, just send a chat. I'd like to say hi. I've got my YouTube chat open here. I apologise for not replying earlier. If you're still in here. Well, yeah. Hello, hello. So yeah, the reason why I've not taken this trade, no A+, no higher time frame FVG above here, it's kind of just a void of wicks, if you will. I'll show you actually right here. You're just kind of rejecting off a void of wicks right now. Oh, damn, zoomed in a bit too much there. Like about this there, you know, it's not too good. There is an inversion, like a reclaimed inversion here, but we didn't even tap it. You know, missed it by a tick. So yeah, just difficult trading conditions really. A lot of chop, not a lot of good price action. But what can you expect after a large move down? You know, you can't be expecting too much. Yeah, we protected ourselves with a break even. I mean, I didn't really protect myself because it would have hit TP anyway. But like I say, going break even protects me a lot more than it doesn't. You know, if I didn't go break even at the next high, especially in price action like this, I'm gonna get stopped out more often than not. So Okay, so we've got 10 a.m. here. I'm just gonna separate my chart and the YouTube chat so I can actually see if someone put something. I do apologize if you do end up coming back in here and I've missed your if I've missed your chat. I do apologize. Oh, there you are, the king. Yeah, so NQES, my broker. There is no space. Yeah, so this isn't forex. This is something called futures. If you're trading on like a broker like Interactive Brokers or something like that, then it will be an index. So it will be the Nasdaq or it will be the S&P 500. The futures is just sort of like a contract over the index. It's just a different asset, but it mimics. It follows the moves of the Nasdaq and the S&P 500, which are the two biggest index funds in the US. So I hope you understand that. If you need any help, the king, you can feel free to look me up on Instagram at CxTrades, and you can drop me a message, and I'll be quite happy to give you some further details there. If you want it written down, potentially some more insights, I'll be happy to do that for you. I'm on TikTok too, but I don't know if you can DM on TikTok. So I think Instagram might be the best bet. If you want to shoot me a DM on there. If you have any more questions, I'm quite happy to answer them. I do apologize if I can't, help you understand. It's difficult for me to explain deeply. You just let me know, the king. Yeah, okay, the king, no problem. Search me on Instagram. It's at CxTrades. It's the exact same as my YouTube name. And shoot me a DM. If you follow me, just tell me what your Instagram handle is, and I'll follow you back, and we can exchange DMs. I can give you some help, a little bit of insight there. Absolutely no problem at all. Yeah, no problem, mate. No problem. So it looks like we are running a little bit deeper now into this M15 gap. Nothing major. Yeah, maybe we just go lower. Like, honestly, like monthly FVG. We're only on the 1 minute right now. Well, the 1 30-second, but obviously in monthly FVG, you can't really expect any big sort of retracements off a higher time frame imbalance that big. It's going to have to be some hourly or hourly structure rather than a lower time frame, which is why we're getting this chop right now. Hello, second viewer, how are you doing? Drop me a chat if you have any questions or anything. I'm happy to answer you. I've got my YouTube chat open here on my second monitor, so I'll be able to read whatever you put in here. Okay, so we've literally just filled this new day opening gap, and we swept another low inside this 15-minute. Did we tap into this lower gap? We did not. We did not tap into this lower gap. So what I'm going to do, actually, is mark up. It is on the 5, maybe? Or it is a 5-minute. Okay, so there is a 5-minute gap here. Just inside this 15-minute. So I'll keep this up, and we can see... So yeah, we did just fill the end dog completely, right here, like a whole fill, and then wicked it out. So yeah, we'll see. And this is an M5. We do have a lower time frame gap below, 1 minute right here. If we get this 2-minute inversion, I think it's a little bit cleaner than the other one. We do have SMT as well, which I do like. I did mention that earlier. We have an SMT here with ES. ES did not take this low. NQ did. Smart money technique. So we do have that. If we get this 2-minute inversion here, again, this is a clean long, and I will be taking this. I'm going to set my order here. If we do close, it has to close. Remember, no taking the trade if it doesn't close. We have the buy side objective here. Yeah, pretty much. What about the 1 minute? Do we have a 1 minute? We do. The 2 minute's going to close at the same time as the 1 minute, though. So what I'll do is I'll wait for the 2 minute. I'll set my take profits and stuff ready if we do get the closure. This should be a nice little trade, to be honest. I don't really see why this one would fail necessarily. It's pretty strong. So yeah, what I'll do is I'll set the trade there. I'll wait for the closure in 8 seconds. See if we get the closure here. 3, 2, 1. Right.
Order filled.
I'm in this 2 minute long. We'll see. I've got my stop at the low, hard stop at the low, and then my break even is right here at this high. So if we take up this high, I'm going break even. And obviously, if we close below the 2 minute FVG here, then it's a hard close and I cut the trade. Hard stop here just to give price a little bit of leeway in case we start throwing wicks around. But yeah, that's it. I'm in this, and let's see how it goes. Again, this is my break-even point. We do have to be a little bit cautious here. We still do have this 5 minute which keeps holding price down. Yeah, let's zoom in on ES a little bit. Let's zoom into the 30-second just so we can see price in a little bit more detail. We've got an M2 inversion here. M2, if we come back down, I'm going to cut the trade because obviously we're still in the range. You know, there's been no solid moves today. So yeah, the trade will be cut by yours truly if we do start chopping again. I do not like trading in chop. If you stick around and you drop a sub, you'll realize that I do not like trading in chop. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. Really hate that shit. Anyway, we're rejecting off of entry here. I like to conserve a lot of risk. I like to be quite tight with my risk management here. We've just swept the low here inside this 30-second FVG. There's an M1, 2, and there's obviously an M2 BPR which could potentially form. I do not like that wick on the M2 here. I will say I do not like that wick, and obviously if price starts coming down with some momentum here, I'm just going to cut the trade in anticipation for a closure. Just giving it a second here. A 30-second closure, by the way, is good enough for a cut. It helps keep losses low, which is exactly what I'm going to do. By the way, I'm going to cut this trade now.
Order filled. Okay.
I think that is going to be my cue to leave, honestly. This price action is not good. Not good at all. This was a super clean trade. Real clean long setup here. But yeah, we just closed below. So not closed on the 2 minute though. So maybe we could take a look on like the 15-second or something for potential confirmation. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. Usually after, you know, we take a very clean loss like that, I do like to close the charts and come off the day. But you know, we still have the long setup. The 2 minute is yet to close, so let's see if the 2 minute actually does close below or not. No closure on the 2. What does the 2 look like? Yeah, it's a ropey one, you know, we're still in that range. It's not too clean. Yeah, the king, no problem. Take your time. I'm not deleting my Instagram anytime soon, so it's all good. There's no rush. I'm trading at the minute, so I won't be able to reply to you until I'm done. So okay. Let's see if that 2 minute closed. No closure on the 2 minute. Weird price action, I will say. What can you expect after a large sell-off, though, you know? It's a shame that we didn't hit this high. This was my break even, so we actually would have just got stopped at break even rather than taking that small loss. Which is kind of frustrating, to be honest. This is when you know the price isn't really being its best. When we don't even hit the break even point, like. Well, it is what it is, you know, no problem there. I mean, this is strange, really, because we have an SMT, but like ES is so close to taking these lows here, and if ES takes these lows, then it kind of invalidates, you know, the SMT, because then ES would have taken the lows, right? Okay, I mean, like, what are we waiting for now, you know? What are we waiting for? Might have to wait here for a little bit longer, maybe until 11, to be honest. It's a shame, because I really thought this was quite a clean draw, you know? Quite a clean draw on liquidity. Yeah, I'd appreciate it if you didn't just start flopping around microphone, you know? Hello, viewer. If you're in here, drop a chat. Feel free to ask me any questions. Answering everyone. I know it might not look like it from the chat, but I was. Okay, I mean, like, what are we doing here, you know? And we had a very clean 2 minute long setup here. Obviously, you know, it was a loss. It didn't even tap the break even, which is the most annoying part. You know, it was so clean. We had a 30-second closure, a 1 minute closure, and an M2 closure right here. Super clean trade. We had SMT, we swept the low, tapped into a 50 minute, tapped into the end dog. A lot of confluences, but still You know, still a loss. So big shame. Big shame. Yeah, and it was an A plus too. It was an A plus, which is the most annoying thing. There's not really much else to do here apart from just wait to see if anything else happens, I guess. Looks like we might go lower here. Unless we get some sort of, you know, repeated attempt to go lower and fail. But it looks like we're building up some sell side liquidity here. Maybe for a move higher? Who knows? Who knows? The 7.5 FVG has been an absolute menace. Real menace. It looks like we're getting a really, really choppy smart money reversal. Like, real choppy smart money reversal. This is just, you know, not good, basically. Okay. We did tap into a lower gap. There's a gap here in multiple time frames. And ES has finally tapped into that end dog. New day opening gap. It's quite a lot of low resistance liquidity. So I would say this is clean. Yeah, I would definitely say this is clean. If we got it, that is, obviously. There's a lot of engineered buy-side liquidity. Looks like we're going to get a closure here. Alright, I'm in a long. This is going to be my last trade of the day. Win or lose, it's my last trade of the day. So, I took the closure here on this 30-second IFVG. Right, so there's my break even. I've got to give it one candle here. You always have to give it one candle after the break even, otherwise you just get stopped like straight away. And we'll just target the New York AM high for now. No point in trying to hold for too long, especially when we've been so choppy. I'd like to see these highs get run. There's a lot of low resistance liquidity. M1. Alright, we got to stop the break even. Yeah, another break even trade. Yeah, I think I'm going to call it there. Just a really bad price action. Yeah. yeah, I mean, I'm going to call it that. It's unfortunate because we had a lot of viewers in the stream, so. I don't really know what else. What could price be running for? Maybe another sweep of this low. Alright guys, well I'm gonna end it there. Chill on Monday.